Are our devices always listening? Take a moment and look around you. Your phone is probably within arm's reach. Maybe it's in your pocket, sitting next to you, or charging nearby. For most of us, it rarely leaves our side. It wakes us up in the morning, guides us through the day, and is often the last thing we look at before we go to sleep. Ask yourself a simple question. How much does this device actually know about you? At first, the answer seems obvious. It knows what you search, what apps you use, who you text, what you watch, where you go. That's expected. We interact with it constantly. We give it that information, but there's a more unsettling question underneath that one. Is it possible our devices know more than we realize, even things we've only said out loud? Many people have had a strange experience. You're having a casual conversation, maybe about a product, a place, or a random idea. You haven't searched it, you haven't typed it, you just said it out loud. Then later you open up an app, and there it is, an ad, a suggestion, a recommendation that feels oddly specific. At first it feels like a coincidence, but when it happens more than once, you start to wonder. To understand this, we need to talk about what our devices are actually capable of. Modern smartphones, smart speakers, and even some TVs are built with microphones that are always ready to respond. They're designed to listen for wake words like "Hey Siri," "Okay Google," or "Alexa." In order to respond instantly, these devices must continuously monitor audio in their environment, at least to some extent. Companies explain that this listening is limited. The device is supposed to process audio locally and only begin recording or sending data after it hears the wake word. That's the official explanation. And to be fair, there is evidence that much of this processing is designed with privacy in mind. But here's where the concern begins. How transparent is that process really? Most users don't fully understand what's happening behind the scenes. We click accept on terms of service agreements that are dozens of pages long. We grant microphone permissions to apps without thinking twice. We trade convenience for access because it makes life easier. Voice assistants can set reminders, answer questions, control our homes, and help us multitask. That convenience is real, but convenience often comes with a cost. And in this case, the cost may be data. Even if devices are not literally recording everything we say, they are part of a much larger ecosystem that is constantly collecting information. Think about how targeted advertising works. Companies build detailed profiles based on your behavior. What you search, what you click, how long you watch something, where you go, who you interact with. Over time, this creates a surprisingly accurate picture of who you are, your interests, your habits, your preferences. Sometimes it can feel like your device is reading your mind, but in many cases, it's not reading your mind, it's predicting you. That distinction matters because prediction can feel just as invasive as surveillance. If an algorithm knows you well enough, it doesn't need to hear every word you say. It can make educated guesses based on patterns, and those guesses can be incredibly accurate. So when you see an ad that matches something you talked about, it may not be your device heard you. It may be that it already knew you are likely to be interested in that topic. Still, that doesn't completely eliminate the concern. There have been real cases where voice recordings were accidentally triggered or reviewed by human contractors to improve voice recognition systems. These incidents have raised legitimate questions about privacy and oversight. Even if those recordings are limited and anonymized, they remind us of something important. These systems are not perfect. And when technology isn't perfect, there's always a margin for error. So where does that leave us? Are our devices recording everything we say? There's no solid evidence that mainstream consumer devices are constantly recording and storing every conversation. That would require enormous storage, bandwidth, and would likely be exposed quickly. But are our devices always listening in some capacity? Yes, at least in the sense that they are waiting for commands, analyzing inputs, and interacting with a complex data ecosystem. And that distinction between listening, recording, and understanding is where most of the confusion lies. The real issue may not be whether every word is recorded. The real issue is how much of our lives are being captured, analyzed, and used to influence us. Because that influence is already here. It shows up in the ads we see, the videos recommended to us, the news we're exposed to, the products suggested at just the right moment. Our devices don't just reflect our behavior, they shape it. And that raises a bigger question. How much control do we really have over our own attention and decisions? If technology can anticipate what we want before we consciously decide it, where does that leave free choice? If our environment is constantly being personalized, are we seeing reality or a filtered version of it? This isn't about fear, it's about awareness. Technology has brought incredible benefits. It connects us, informs us, and empowers us in ways that were unimaginable just a few decades ago. But every powerful tool requires responsibility, not just from the companies that build it, but from the people who use it. So what can we do? We can start by being more mindful. Pay attention to the permissions you grant. Review your privacy settings. Understand how your data is being used. Ask questions, not out of paranoia, but out of curiosity and responsibility. Because at the end of the day, the question isn't just, are our devices recording everything we say? The deeper question is, how much of ourselves are we giving away, and are we okay with it? Technology will continue to evolve. Devices will become smarter, faster, and more integrated into our daily lives. The line between convenience and privacy will continue to blur. It's up to us to decide where that line should be. So the next time your phone lights up, the next time an ad feels a little too accurate, next time technology seems to know you just a bit too well, don't panic, but don't ignore it either. Just remember, in a world where everything is connected, awareness is your greatest advantage.